What do you think of AI?
It's increasing way too fast. It's a tool at the end of the day. It's a tool that is going to be abused for sure. That is unavoidable.
Bironta o'zbek vlogger bilan kollaboratsiya qilish imkoniyati berilganda kim bilan bo'lardi?
Parizodani juda yaxshi ko'raman, videolarini hammasini. Lekin men kirillcha yozolmayman va o'qolmayman.
Kirillcha umuman
o'qolmayman.
My interest in learning languages started off when I was younger.
How many languages do you know?
So,
English.
It's like first language is of course English. Then I learned Turkmen. Then it was Farsi. And then I learned Turkish, and then I started doing Japanese.
And now it's Uzbek. Lekin juda yoqadi shunaqa narsalar menga. Men faqat millat illatni chiqarishni yaxshi ko'raman.
Keyingi davlat qayerda bo'lishini xohlaysizlar? Qayerga borishni xohlaysizlar?
Men o'zim Turkiyaga borib keldim, ya'ni.
Yo, endi meni olib borishimiz kerak. Turkiyaga borishimiz kerak endi.
So you said you finished software engineering.
Oh yes,
right?
Computer science.
Computer science.
As my bachelor's.
Okay. What do you think of AI? What are the cons and the pros?
When it first released, I loved it. I loved how it is.
Me too. I really.
Unfortunately, it's increasing way too fast. I never thought it would be increasing to us until like after graduation. Within the first couple of months, it was just text, AI text. Next thing we got image to text. We got text, voice to, and then we have text to video now.
Yeah.
Got that point. It's a tool at the end of the day, right? But it's a tool that is going to be abused for sure. That is unavoidable. It is something that's growing far rapidly and should be, I don't want to say controlled. I love open source. As a programmer, I love open source work. It's open for the community. There's going to be a shift when it comes to the tech world that I'm experiencing right now, is this shift of programmers have to be better now.
Yeah.
Right? There is like Devin AI right now. I don't know if you heard of it.
I haven't heard.
It's a AI for programming. It does automated programming now.
What do they like exactly do?
They program. You just tell the AI to like, hey, I want to program this. Can you do the programming for me? And just program it. It gives you the code for you.
Wow.
Like even like certain Adobe software has like automated generated code for you. Like I can just say ChatGPT, hey ChatGPT, can you give me the PHP code for this site? I want to do this task, and it'll just generate it for me.
Wow.
Right? So we're getting to that level right now. And it brings this new challenge of programmers have now to be like a little bit more better. It's like saying, it's like manual labor is getting removed a little bit more, and you have to be a little bit more professionalized in your spectrum. The issue that's now going to come up is, how do we teach AI and how do we like repair AI? Like basically programmers have to be a bit more now taking the results of what AI does and tweaking it a bit more.
Yeah.
Right? There's no more like, I remember when I first entered university, everybody's, oh, you're going into computer science. You know, there's so many jobs for you, like the web development, the software.
Too, yeah.
I was always told that, and they just said, okay, I want the jobs. So what do I do? It's like, just get a degree, man. Hurry up and get a degree. I got a degree, and they're like, no, we don't want you, man. There's too many developers.
Yeah, they need like another certificate for you to do another.
Exactly. It's kind of like a little rat race. But what I'm seeing so far is that a lot of companies now want to incorporate this AI tech, and it's shifting. It's like a shift between mechanical cars and electrical cars along the way. You know, there's going to be a little difficulties.
Yeah.
People are like, whoever wants to like learn how to mechanical engineering now has to learn electrical engineering, because cars are going to be like a mix of hybrid and slowly programmers have to be that. They have to learn a little bit of AI, how AI works, how it develops, at the same time learning how to program. It just increases more tasks. It's a little bit more of a specialized in thought process, more like it. Overall, it's just a tool. I don't want to be dependent on it though.
Did you guys listen to the Tucker Carlson's interview with Pavel?
With who? I know Tucker Carlson. I love Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, so he recently interviewed Telegram's CEO.
Oh, that's on my list though. I'm listening to Trudeau's brother one right now.
That's an interesting one too.
Yeah, Trudeau's brother, half brother, talking to Tucker Carlson on the quarantine mandates and the vaccination mandates.
Yeah,
I'm listening to that one.
I love Tucker Carlson.
I love Tucker Carlson.
Bro,
like
he's
even the interview with Putin was like, wow. It was like Tucker Carlson, really good journalist. I loved him in Fox. I'm glad I was able to do like independent.
I'm glad he left too. Yeah. I'm glad he left too. So you should watch the Telegram episode
Okay.
because it's like his first in like 7 years. Telegram is so like encrypted, right?
Yeah.
Like the codes and everything. Unlike Facebook and like WhatsApp and stuff, right? They don't share anyone's personal data, anyone's privacy. So he moved to Dubai. He had like a problem with the Russian government because they were demanding people's private data and like privacy, and he rejected it. And then he moved to Dubai, where everything's like cool and like tax free, right?
Yeah, tax free.
Yeah.
Tax free.
So he got a letter from the Democrats during Trump's administration, saying that he wants everything on people that marched and demonstrated on January 5th.
Wait,
Do you remember when
January was it
January-
6th? January 6th? The
6th? Yeah.
Yeah, the Capitol invasion.
yeah.
Oh, I remember seeing that
So-
through the.
Yeah,
I
so
was, I was in Canada. I'm like, damn, these Americans are at it again.
Yeah. So Democratic Party, they sent him a letter asking for people who actually created like groups and started this whole thing, right?
yeah.
His lawyers told him to just throw it out. It has nothing to do with him. He's not going to be, breaking any rules or laws. And then a couple of weeks later, Republican Party sent him another letter saying if you provide what the Democratic Party asks you to provide, you're going to be you're going to be violating the US Constitution. Does that make sense? So,
that does make sense. Yeah.
yeah, so like Democratic Party is asking for people's private data.
Yeah. It's basically the same Edward Snowden scenario.
Yeah. So like Republican Party did not want him to provide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
That's the entire discussion of it?
no. So that was like the part that I really liked the most.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really
So
really.
the Democrats are asking for info.
Yeah, and then
That's
Republicans are telling him not to provide anything to the Democratic Party.
Because at the end it's free speech, though. But
Yeah.
at the same,
Yeah.
it's that Edward Snowden scenario, which
Yeah,
like how
yeah,
much
yeah.
privacy are you allowed and how much
Yeah.
you're at that same time.
And apparently, like he owns 100% of the company. Like he doesn't have any like stakeholders. He doesn't have any like stocks.
That's impressive though. Like I've seen a lot of Russian tech companies that people who started are 100% CEOs for
Yeah.
sure. But the reason how they start that is just from one small little computer. They build an app that gets
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to figure out how is Telegram still alive? Like how do they gain like profit?
Well, they have
The
2
ethnics,
million.
that's why.
Yeah, like they have 2 million users.
But who
new
provides the
users.
money though? We know that like Meta right now,
Yeah.
and like Instagram, Apple, all that used to like benefit by targeting ads by selling data.
So they have Telegram Premium right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that as one way to make money, like Telegram
Yeah.
Premium, but I don't think that's.
I honestly don't know. If I had to assume, I think it would be like as many as famous people started joining Telegram and started their own channels, like Tucker Carlson does. I don't know. Maybe through ads.
Maybe through ads, I would say that would make sense, but at the same time,
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
he's a billionaire. But how
yeah.
do you become a billionaire from that one app? It's free technically. I can install Telegram and like, use it. I don't pay anything. But how did he profit? Other than that, that's the big question, right?
Yeah, and he hired a lot of like software engineers too. That
How?
Yeah,
Like, that's still up to debate. Like how? What's the business logic behind it?
Yeah,
And if the business logic is genuine, that's also another thing.
I mean, I trust the Telegram more than I would
WhatsApp?
trust WhatsApp and Facebook.
I remember when WhatsApp, the early stages of WhatsApp, because I used to use WhatsApp in the early stages
Yeah.
before it was bought by Facebook Meta.
Yeah.
It used to be good at encryption, and then it was just bought by like Facebook.
Like
and then,
it's 2012, 13, I think it was.
yeah, somewhere
there,
around- and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, our data's done.
yeah.
It's not encrypted anymore.
Not a lot of people use WhatsApp anymore, right? Everyone's
it's-
moving to Telegram.
Here and there.
Here and there.
People use
People
WhatsApp,
still
yeah.
use it, but it lost momentum when Facebook took over. Essentially,
Yeah.
that's why. Not many people still use Facebook for the sake of Facebook Messenger these days.
Yeah, that's true.
It's there's this lot of commotion going on with this privacy issue for sure. It's astonishing, especially with AI now. It just builds this so-called algorithm people like keep talking about. It's just targeted to a specific person to like make you glued to your phone. That's the end of the reality. Like YouTube,
Yeah.
Instagram, and stuff like that is just designed for you to sit on your phone and just keep scrolling. And that's how they make profit essentially. by usability, like
Yeah.
use the app so like the company can profit.
Do you also use AI to create a website? For example, last time we spoke, you created a website for Malika, right?
No, I did that without AI at the time.
Okay.
I was
You just coded everything.
hard coded everything. I was in the early stage of learning how to like build websites and other stuff like that. Now, thankfully,
Now you're a pro.
not a pro in my intermediate stages, of course.
Which software do you use?
I'm trying to do as much as I can. I have this YouTube channel that I'm documenting my process in, and everybody that's trying to get into tech, I named it the Wandering Developer because I'm wandering through this.
Right.
That's a cool name. I'm a Java developer originally when I first started, but I'm getting into like web development. So I'm doing JavaScript, like the Node.js, the React, and stuff like that. But now I'm trying to. I don't like Java. I don't like the programming language JavaScript, because it keeps changing every single time, and I don't like that about tech. It keeps when it changes.
Do they keep updating like
new frameworks, new things, new syntax, and when that keeps changing, I don't like it because I know that if I were to create something, it's gonna get obsolete quickly as possible.
Yeah,
and that's why I like the Java. I'm going back into like the web development with the Java framework because it's something secure, and if it changes, it changes. It takes time for it to change.
Yeah.
And there's room for me to like go back and update. I learned something more like that. Because when it comes to like website development nowadays, it's like H&M fast fashion.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. So
I remember in college I took HTML and we used Dreamweaver to...
Dreamweaver, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Adobe's Dreamweaver now uses AI to automatically generate the code for you.
Oh, wow.
You have to start worrying now. Like what's stopping somebody from generating a false...
They made a whole movie on AI.
Oh, don't worry. By the end of this...
It was using AI the whole time, the whole movie.
Don't worry. By the end of this year, we'll probably be able to generate an entire Bollywood movie with AI at this point. Just write a whole script and generate a Bollywood movie for me. But no, it's the scary portion that when it gets so realistic, when humans can't distinguish between realism and what is AI generated.
There's a movie called Her. Have you seen that?
I think
you should watch it. It's a really interesting
with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
basically,
he falls in love
with an AI, with a voice,
with a Siri. Basically,
wasn't that X?
No. It's like a couple of years into the future. This is like the future, and basically, like these people are dating their voice assistants, and it seems like to be like a new phenomenon, but also like a very like regular phenomenon. So this guy, he's living like his job, and it's like very dreary, but he falls in love with his voice assistant. Well, he doesn't fall in love immediately, but he gets a voice assistant, and he loves her voice because it's Scarlett Johansson's voice. She has a very sultry voice, and they keep talking. They talk every day, and then eventually towards the end, they have to part ways because the AI is being done now. Like it's bankrupt.
Yeah, it sounds like something from Ex Machina.
Yeah.
There was that one.
It's a good movie, though.
It's a really good movie. Yeah, and then he falls in love with this voice that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And he asks her, how many other people are you in love with?
Yeah.
And then the AI responds somewhere around like thousands.
Yeah, because so many people are using it, and he's just kind of not really understanding. He's not computing the fact that this isn't like a person that's supposed to fall in love with just one person.
Yeah.
It's like an AI that is quite literally programmed to fall in love with so many other people.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
You should watch it. I think you would like
tonight
it.
If you want.
We'll watch
tonight. Raouf and I, we love watching movies, so it's just another thing in the list. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is the scary portion of distinguishing between realism and what is like fake. And especially I feel bad for the newer generation coming up. They're going to be, I don't want to say confused, but a little challenged when it comes to believing which is which.
Yeah.
Like what's from stopping somebody to be like, hey, this is like what your parents, say, but it's actually just a fake text generation, or this is what your friends are saying. It just increases a lot of there's a lot of ethics in it, and I love the ethics portion. I like to talk about the ethics portion of it. Yeah. But I can see how wrongfully it could be used in the most simplest terms.
Yeah.
Even in a high school scenario, how awful it could be used.
What do people misunderstand about you the most?
About me?
Yes.
Okay.
Or the content that you create. Do you get any hate?
Yeah. definitely.
or negative comments.
Yeah, I
or
get a lot of
DMs.
people like that are quite nationalistic towards their culture, their nation. I mean, it's normal because it's Central Asia, but at the same time, people have to understand that it's a whole mixing pot, and like cultures can be intermixed together, they can be intermingled, but it's really hard for them to distinguish that, because they think that, oh no, what you're saying is Persian culture, but it's like, no, just Uzbek culture. And you would agree too, like Uzbek culture is very much like 50% Persian, 50% Turkic, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
That was my history paper actually back in university. So it was very funny because my history paper was the trio, the Arabic, Persian, and Turkic influences throughout the Middle East, Central Asia, and North Africa, of how these three predominantly ethnics kind of infused one another.
Yeah.
And either way, you can't remove one without removing the other, essentially. Like, without Arabic, you wouldn't have Islam into the context of Central Asia, one thing's first. And without Persia, you wouldn't have, like, the scientific discoveries or the literature that was written in Persia. And Turkic, with Turkic, Turkey had the muscle manpower at the time when it comes
they
to
were the Avengers, and right now we're just like, we're children of the Avengers.
kind of
Like the Ottoman Empire, right?
Yeah.
the Seljuk, the Ottomans, and predominantly the Mamluks.
Yeah.
Either way, when you look back into the language they spoke, you would notice that the common language, the common tongue of the people were Turkic. The language of like literature and government was in Persian, and the language of religion, like Latin in the West, for us would be in Arabic.
Yeah.
It's these three cultures combined together, and you can't remove it either way. You can add on top of it for sure, but you can't remove that. And it's very hard for people to distinguish that.
And I guess another thing for me is that people tend to think that, you know, just because I'm American that I wouldn't understand their experiences, which is very true. You know, I'm not going to say that that's not a valid argument, but, you know, if like it's two halves of the same coin, you know, like like I'm Uzbek, you're Uzbek. Just because you were born in Uzbekistan doesn't mean like I don't share the same experiences as you at the same time, because, you know, like we have like experiences. Although I'm learning still, till this day I feel like till the day I die I will still learn about my culture in every single way. But you know, I understand, you know, you know, I understand like being able to having to like switch from one language to another, but instead of English and Uzbek, it's like Russian to Uzbek or something like that. Yeah, and I guess people do perceive me in certain ways, but I mean, I'm very open. I'm an open book, so if anybody ever wants to ask me a question, please let me know. I will happily answer. Yeah, I'm very like open with my life.
Was there any negative comment or somebody DM'd you that made you want to quit doing what you do now?
No, because I feel like it's very common for anybody to really have negative. There's always people that could say something. You know, there's always people that say a lot of stuff. You know, so I just think that I'm true to myself, and that's all that matters.
Did you ever wanted to get like a government type of job?
Yeah. I originally wanted to study international relations, and I wanted to do something related to Uzbekistan, maybe being a diplomat in Uzbekistan. Till this day, I do have like a dream that I could possibly be tourism ambassador of Uzbekistan, but from the U.S. side. There's this amazing person. Her name is Sophie Ibbotson. She is a UK international ambassador tourism ambassador to Uzbekistan, and you know, she's literally English. You know, so like if I'm Uzbek and I'm American, you know, I speak the language. People don't really know that I exist, you know. Why can't I do that job, but just from the America side?
If you were given an opportunity, let's say in Uzbekistan, right? Let's say you got an Uzbek citizenship. Do you have an Uzbek citizenship?
No,
you don't.
I'm
Okay.
American,
You're
guys.
American, yeah. Let's say you got an Uzbek citizenship, and you were given an opportunity in a government position. What would you change, or what would you add or revise? I mean, there are a lot of things that you can think of. I know that. But like, for example, right? Last time I had Nursultan Rozaboyev, who's a UFC fighter, who's a very well achieved.
Nursultan.
Yeah, Nursultan. Yeah,
Nursultan.
You watch UFC? Like, you watch his fights?
I love that. Ever since Khabib, I loved UFC.
So I asked him the same question. If you were given an opportunity to be in the given a position in the government in like a sports
beating up politicians.
Yeah, well,
No, I think he would be in charge of Olympics. Dude.
yeah, like in charge of, let's say he was given an opportunity to be in charge of sports section of the government.
The
Or
ones that would be
department.
the ones that
Yeah.
would be in charge of taking care of the Olympics, in
Right,
Tashkent,
or
for
Olympics,
instance.
or any other sports in the
I
country.
mean,
like
that's
the head of
something-
the sports.
That's something that I'm trying to do anyway. It would be amazing if, Raouf and I could try to do tourism in Uzbekistan. But maybe in like a content creation sense, while also at the same time involving America in it. It's something that is possible, and we could try to do it. We're trying to do something called Trova Trip, and Trova Trip is basically where you get to host a trip. So I would get to host like an American group going to Uzbekistan. And they have to have the budget for it and whatnot, but you have to like basically they have to pick and select whichever activity they want to do. And it could be something as little as sightseeing to even like going to like an Uzbek concert or like an Uzbek wedding or something, whatever. Like crashing a whole wedding or crashing our wedding. But yeah, just we're trying to do something based off of that. But yeah, I guess the goal is possibly doing a government position, which is why I don't really like to talk about politics much on my Instagram or TikTok as well. Because I like to be very neutral, it's important to, as a journalist myself too, I studied communications with a concentration on journalism in Adelphi. I was a former student, so it's important to show like a very neutral tone and not show like interest on both sides or either side.
Which is funny because she likes to be neutral, but I like to also express debate opinions.
Yeah.
But yeah, can I be able to answer mine?
Oh, sure.
For my opinion?
Yeah.
If I was given a position like as a Canadian side, like a Canadian diplomat to help out Uzbekistan, mine would be focused on refreshing water.
Did you have bad experience with water?
I did.
Are you talking about like tap water or
Yeah,
like
tap water.
Just general access in water and reviving the RLC essentially back, because it's important for Uzbekistan at the time. It's dried up, unfortunately, due to the Soviet
that's
area.
true.
And it's really sad,
even
because
the president? Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh,
but
no,
even
no.
when the president came to New York for the UN meeting, he
Yeah.
talked about it.
and
talked about
along
the
with his daughter
RLC.
too, Saida.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It is something that
It's very sad.
It is sad.
There's like older men or like older women that say, yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I used to come here and swim with my dad or swim with my mom or with my whole family. That's really sad.
It is sad, but it's important. It's vital for like I do believe if you want Central Asia to start upstarting itself into a global country, my opinion, if anybody had the ability to first focus on water, getting good, clean, fresh water. Because it's very hard. It's very hard to explain. As a Canadian, I'm always surrounded by fresh water. I live close to fresh water.
Yeah.
And like we're blessed in New York to have fresh water too. Yeah.
It comes in from the north, from like the Bronx and all. It comes down here. But in Uzbekistan, since it's dried up, it just brings more challenges. But there's always a saying that once there's good water, there's everything else falls into place.
That's true.
Right? Yeah. And it's also good jobs at the same time. Water filtering. So it's a foundation that I would want to implement into Uzbekistan. Building water pipes, maybe having a man-made sea other than the RLC, since the radioactive issues going on there.
Man-made sea, like what
Turkmenistan is now doing that, making man-made seas. I would like to see if I can be able to like make a man-made sea.
Like in the UAE, they built islands on the
kind of,
on their sea.
but just make it for fresh water and have like access to fish and stuff like that, like other than the Caspian Sea.
I also realized that we never spoke Uzbek or Turkmen once throughout this whole video.
Yeah, maybe we just mentioned a couple of
words
phrases,
here and there.
and words.
And they get what.
I'm like,
what the heck you saying? I thought you said the N word.
yeah, I thought that too.
Nah,
Akcent bara.
Baribir bor.
Bironta o'zbek bloger bilan или уже farqi yo'q. Любой bloger bilan, I'm including Russian here and there. Salgina.
Speak in Uzbek, it's fine.
Bironta o'zbek bloger bilan kollaboratsiya qilish imkoniyati berilganda kim bilan bo'lardi?
Parizodani juda yaxshi ko'raman, videolarini hammasini.
Yozganmisiz?
Yo, endi followerlari ko'pda, shuncha hali obunalar ko'pda u kishini.
Javob qaytarmaydan sizga?
Yo, baribir javob qaytarmaydi.
Balki yozib ko'rish kerakdi.
Balki, bilmadim, lekin juda videolari yoqadi, juda ham madaniyatni chiqaradi, o'zbek millatimizni, illatimizni. Juda yoqadi shu menga. Keyin modamizni yoqtiraman, shu faqat chiqaradilar-da.
Fashion.
Atlas, hammasi moda. Shularni juda yoqtiraman.
Sizchi bironta bloger bo'lish shart emas, bironta bilan deylik oh, do you understand? Tushunyapsiz? Okay. Bironta bilan o'zingizni sohangiz bo'yicha, masalan, o'sha tek bo'yichami? Mana shu odamdan mana shu narsani o'rgangim kelyapti. Mana shu odam bilan
ko'p insonlar bor. Ular salgir bir listim bor.
3tasi.
3tasi. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Tek emas-ku kishi. Tek bo'yicha.
Tekdan boshqa u.
Tekdan boshqa.
No, like what I'm trying to say is like I have a list of 3 people, one in tech and one in like everybody else.
Oh, okay, right? Okay, yeah.
I thought you meant like every other place or just specifically in tech.
O'zbek
Hammasi farqi yo'q mayli.
Farqi yo'q. Tamam. Avvalgiga Arnold Schwarzenegger bilan.
Nimaga?
Can I say reply in English or Turkmen?
Uzbek.
Turkmen. O chunki California'ning governor bo'ldiğı için, yine ta Australia'nın göçüp nahilde adam governor bo'lib, bir immigrant bo'lib, yashish açıklamak için bilan bir keplashmak bir vaqt etganim. İkincisi tek alimini that I kim bilir tek alimini. Yaşı Edward Snowden bilan.
Biluvdim shuni aytasiz. Biluvdim.
Nimaga aynan Edward Snowden? Anchadan beri Edward Snowden haqida ko'rganimiz ham yo'q, eshitganimiz ham.
Kinosini ko'rdingizmi?
Kinosini ko'rdim, yaxshi ko'rdim. I really did like
Gordon, was it? What was his name? The actor that played him. I forgot his name. He's very famous.
Nami ish edi, nami uchun etdigini bir savolim bor. Va bir muhimli bir savol javoblar bor. Like nami uchun bu privacy haqqini, shundan bu demokratiya odami zaruriy bir narsami yo yo'q shu burada o haqqini keplashib. Uchinchisi Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Khabib. Yaqinda Khabib bitta zo'r intervyu berdi-da. Men tushunyapsiz-a, polnosyu? To'liq tushunyapsizmi?
Siz o'zbekcha tushunyapsizmi?
Sal.
Yo, o'rganib ketasiz, gapirsangiz.
Men namet bilan arsini o'zbek bilan qo'shishim kerak. Bilingmi? Yo'q, edal inatam yana qadam. Hozir turkmencha keplab, bir o'zbekcha bir arsa qarshi.
Otangiz turkmencha polni biladi.
Polni biladilar.
Lekin siz bilmaysiz.
Yo'q. Biliyorum.
Habibni yaqinda bitta intervyusini ko'rdimda, Habibdan bitta savol so'ragan, zo'r savol so'raganda, bitta orolga borib qoldingiz. Orolda eng yaqin o'rtog'ingizni olib borishingiz kerak va eng o'zingizga yoqqan bitta kitob olib borishingiz kerak dedi. Zo'r javob berdi, javobini keyin aytaman. Sizlardan men so'rab olay.
What's the question?
Agar shunaqa orolga tushib qolganlaringizda sizlar.
What's the orol dengiz?
Ne, orol degan
ostrov between you.
Island. If you were stranded on an island.
Orol.
If you were stranded on an island, and you had to take with you someone that's close to you.
Raouf.
Okay.
Raoufni olib ketaman.
Or Dgona bo'lganda farqi yo'q.
Yo, Raoufni olib ketaman.
Agar boshqa javob bo'lsa, agar bo'ldi. Uyga kirish yo'q bo'lgan.
Sleep on the couch.
This is the last video of
the last video. Habib ham xuddi shunaqa javob berdi. Allah dedi, when he created Adam dedi, Adamga ota yoki ona yoki farzand yoki do'st yoki aka uka bermadi dedi. Adamga ayol berdi dedi. Birinchi yaratganda. O'shaning uchun dedi va ayolimni olib ketardi dedi.
Mana. To'g'ri javob beribsiz-da.
Da. Keyin kitobga kelsak, qanaqa kitob olardingiz o'zingiz bilan?
The Kite Runner.
Yeah, I love that book.
That's a good book.
I've read it like 3 times.
It's so sad. The movie is also really sad too.
Yeah, it's sad, but I love the book.
Yeah, the book is very good. Yeah. It's very well written. Yeah. Very well written. Yeah. Kite Runner olib ketardim. Men Toshkentda Thousand Splendid Suns'ni qidirayotgandim. U ikkinchi kitobi. Ana shuni qidirayotgandim. Oxirida Toshkentda topilsa-chi.
Yo'g'i, inglizchasimi?
Inglizchasi, polni inglizchasi. Toshkentda bor ingliz til kitoblar. Juda ko'p. Arzon ham. Siz qaysi kitobni olgansiz? Matthew McConaughey kitobini olgansiz? Green Lights kitobini olganman. Matthew McConaugheyni.
Okay.
I really like his.
What book would you take with you in an island?
The Green Light.
Faberdan, ha?
Bittadan.
Okay.
Ko'p kitob o'qiysizlarmi?
Juda ko'p kitob o'qiymiz.
It would be a falsafa, how to think like a Roman emperor. Falsafa haqqida.
Filosofiya haqida.
That would be my favorite.
Men ham, конечно, nima xotinimda olgan bo'ladi, agar menda ham shunaqa situatsiya bo'lganda. Kitobga kelsak, menimcha o'ylayman eng yaxshi kitob bu Qur'on. Qur'onni olgan bo'lardim.
Hech siqilmaydi-da odam.
Ha, chunki u Qur'onda ichida har xilcha tema borda, hamma mavzuda bor.
Fors tilida yozishni biladilar bu kishi.
Ha, fors bilan arabcha
bitta alfabetda shu
bitta alfabet.
Bitta alfabet.
P, you guys all have P.
We have P though.
Really?
Forsda P bor.
P bormi?
Arabchada
yo'q, ha, arabchada P yo'q.
P bilan G bor. Fors tilida ikkita G bor. G bor va G bor.
Lekin men kirillcha yozolmayman va o'qolmayman.
Kirillcha umuman o'qolmaysiz.
O'qolmayman. Faqat lotincha meniki. Endi hozir ham faqat yoshlar lotin tilini yozishni biladi, o'qishni biladi.
Ko'plar,
ha. Keyin ko'p O'zbekistonga ketganimizda ham hech joyda topolmadim birorta bir kirillcha yozganni.
Yo'q, Toshkentda bor.
Toshkentda bor edi, конечно, yerda stolitsa baribir, unaqa.
Poytaxt
baribir.
Ruslar ham ko'p, ha. Kosmonavtlar anonsi ham, metro ham
kirillcha yozilgandi. Yo'q,
o'qoldingizmi o'shalar?
Raouf o'qib oladilar, men o'qimayman.
You can read
Cyrillic.
Yeah. Really?
Bir xil alfabetlari A, M, unaqa ingliz tiliga o'xshaydi-da, lotinchada baribir, lekin A-ni o'qolmayman.
Например, P bo'lsa agar boshqacha, letter D is written differently.
Yeah.
My interest in learning languages just started off when I was younger.
How many languages do you know?
So which one? Yeah, that was my next question.
It's the journalist in me. English.
It's like first language is of course English. Then I learned Turkmen, my dialect of it, if you consider it. Then it was Farsi, and then I learned Turkish, and then I started doing Japanese.
5 languages.
Yes.
And now it's Uzbek. Now he's learning Uzbek.
You're learning.
Yeah.
Uyda qanaqa tilda gaplashasizlar?
Ayam bilan o'zbek tilida, dadam bilan turkman tilida. Hammamiz shu. Ayam majbur qilib o'rgatyaptilar bu kishini o'zbek tilida. Ha, polna shu. Baqirib. Yo'q, shunisi yaxshi, o'rgansin deydilar.
Dadangiz bezaksent gapiradi turkmanchada.
Baribir endi
differencelar bormi?
Difference bor. O aksent o turkman tilini keplarkan, menda S yo'q turkman tilini. S deb aytadi bir lisp bilan.
Ha, with
Xorazmlilar
xuddi bir Spanish yanaqcha.
Xorazmlilar endi S bilan aytadi-da ko'p so'zlarni, S bilan aytadi. Shu uchun bular S deyiladi-da shu uchun.
Masalan, biz sabun deyak, sabuna. O qaynatib sabun deyadi. Ama biz sabun deyapmiz.
Sabun, like you're talking about
soap. Yeah. It's very fascinating.
O'zbekistonga borganingizda shunaqa lisp ketib qolganda ular ketib qoldimi yo'qmi? Yoki siz o'zbekcha yoki
yo'q, men turkmancha gaplamadim, o'zbeklar bilan вообще gapirmadim. Shu qarab.
Yo'q, o'zbek til gapiryapti-da bu kishi. Yo'q, tez o'rganib
turdingizmi siz?
Ha, har zaman tarjima. Lekin hozir yaxshi biladilar.
Fors tilini ko'p ishlatardim O'zbekistonda.
Ha.
Chunki turkman tilini вообще tushunmaydilar. Fors tilini ko'proq tushunardi.
Tojik ham medaniyat.
Well, of course, I'm Farsi میدونم. I'm فرق.
Farsi medaniyat, ne tojik va farsi medaniyat.
Tojik با فارسی یکم فرق داره.
Katta farqi bor baribir.
Ha, farqlari ko'p.
Tojiklar bilan gaplashganda bu kishi fors tilida gapiryotgandilar. Endi katta farqi bor-da. Ular o'zbek tilini ham qo'shib yuradi, rus tilini ham qo'shib yuradi. Shu uchun.
Va yo namefamad-da, va farsi namefamad.
نه جنگ میگیم به جاش. وایان نمیگیم جنگ میشیم به جاش. یکیش هست توی فرودگاه باشون حرف میزنم، گفتم بهش از لحاظ کتابی باش حرف زدم، گفتم چمدان رو کجا بذارم. خانم حیران گذاشت و گفت شما این فارسی حرف میزنی؟ آره. از کجا؟ از ایران. همشون حیران ماندن.
He has to code switch every time, whether people are like, where, like when he speaks Farsi, it's like, where are you from? It's like, oh, like my family's from Iran. But technically, which is true. But like when he speaks to Turkmen, it's like, oh, I'm from Turkmenistan.
Hozir ham sal tushunmay qoldim nimaga
Farsi. Juda qiyin baribir.
Qiyin and nimadan farqi bor, tojikchadan farqi bor.
The thing is that when I hear Tajiks, you cut these syllables. You always try to shorten your syllables.
For example?
What was the one word? Chitur or chera?
Chua.
Chua, like why?
Yeah,
we don't say chua, it's chera.
Chera?
Secondly, when it comes to Farsi, Iranian Farsi, there's also a little bit of European influence for sure. One or two words, like Europe, like from French, like ascensor for lift.
Merci. They say merci.
Merci. Oh,
Yeah, they say thank
merci.
you very often. Like they say when they say like thank you, they say merci very often. You know, it's very
Merci. Or the words like asansor, or means lift, or you guys would say lift from the Russian word, for instance.
chauffeur,
Chauffeur, stuff like that.
samovar.
Like
Samovar,
a best bet when I first learned Farsi and when I came to like Uzbekistan, I could understand the Afghans very well. Okay, there's a little difference, but when it came to Tajik, for me, the first time when I encountered Tajik was just like, no, it was a 180 to me. Like I did not understand. It took some time.
I think Farsi changes when it comes to when it gets closer to Afghanistan, and then it completely changes when it moves to Tajikistan,
Yeah.
and then it
We got the
changes.
remnants of it in Uzbekistan.
Yeah, in Bukhara, in Samarkand,
Yeah.
and in Surkhandarya too. Actually, they have diaspora of Tajiks.
Like
in
my
Surkhandarya.
Qainana was saying, like when you speak Farsi, it's very like literature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds very like literatura, as she would put it. And I'm like, I guess though that's probably because we use these old words, and some of the words that like when I use in Turkmen that come from Farsi,
Yeah.
like my Qainata is like that's an ancient word we don't use anymore. And I'm like, no, we still use
Yeah,
it.
like in poems, right? Like Alshir Navoye was a Farsi. I believe he wrote in Farsi.
Yeah.
Rumi wrote in Farsi too.
Well,
I
no,
think.
actually, Alişan Naboyi wrote in Çaktay Türkik.
Really?
Yeah, he wrote in
Okay.
Çaktay Türkik.
I did not know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Alişan Naboyi is basically like our Shakespeare.
Right.
It's because of him that's how we talk the way that we do.
Right.
And same with Shakespeare. It's because of Shakespeare that we speak the modern English that we speak today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rumi adashmasam Farsi'da yozganmi Rumi?
Farsi.
I don't know, Rumi wrote in Farsi. He loved Farsi.
Yeah.
He was Farsi himself.
Oh yeah.
I think so. Yeah. They were all Sufis, I think.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm not Indian. I'm not from Pakistan. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
You've asked too many times.
There's so many people that always ask, like, going back to that question that you asked, where it was like, oh, what do people perceive of you? Like with Raouf, we've told people 1,000 times, I'm Turkmen. My husband is Turkmen, you know, like he's Turkmen. Trust me, you know, like we even showed like a DNA test, but they don't believe us, you know. But then again, with ancestry, it was like 70% like Iranian or something. But that's just like Ancestry doesn't know how to fully measure like Central Asian DNA yet.
Yeah.
So we had to like put it into GEDmatch, and it literally said 100% Turkmen.
Wow.
Yeah. And then with me, it was like 50% Turkmen and 50% Uzbek. I was like, okay.
Oh, we already knew that.
Yeah, we already knew that
We
though.
paid money for this. We already knew this.
Yeah, exactly.
What other regions were that I had? 70% Iranian.
It was like
Anatolian.
1% something, 1% northern China or something like that. It was very fascinating. Yeah.
Northern China.
I
Like
have-
Mongolia-ish area.
Yeah.
Kazakh, Mongolia.
Yeah.
My predominant genes are more Anatolian and Iranian.
Amir Timur was Mongolian, right?
Yeah.
I
We
think
all
have
have-
that blood. and-
Yeah, he was like a direct descendant from Genghis Khan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the historical sources say. And in Canada, going back to languages, their second language is French, right? Or is it like a official
No, it's official
Government.
second language.
second or first?
Official second.
Second.
Right? Do you speak French too?
No.
No.
Je ne comprends pas.
Oui.
No, I don't understand.
That's all. Ça va? Comment ça va?
Ça va bien. That's all I know.
No, you can go and like I went to France, and you could go about France without even knowing like much French anyway.
Oh, there is a difference between Canadian French and
Oh, yeah?
Prayer French. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's different. They some people like to make fun of it, like Canadian French is like the bastard French of like Paris.
Yeah.
Parisian French. It's like going to New Orleans, right?
New Orleans,
Or
yeah.
New Orleans, and like people there speak French, for instance. But still,
Yeah.
like that American French is different from like
Yeah.
like French.
That was actually one of the questions that that was on the test when I was going for my citizenship interview.
Yeah. What was the question?
Yeah, like what year or in 18 something, which state was bought or freed from French?
Louisiana.
Oh,
Louisiana.
yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the questions.
I do want to visit Louisiana.
Oh yeah, I'd love to go. My
Yeah.
best
People
friend is
call
there.
it NOLA.
Yeah,
NOLA?
Yeah.
Yeah, New Orleans.
They
LA.
call it NOLA?
Yeah, NO stands for New Orleans and LA
Yeah.
stands for Louisiana because it's
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
It's really fascinating, yeah. My best friend Josh is there, so we could totally go. I've always wanted to visit New Orleans too. Yeah, it's very fascinating. my friend Josh, he is adopted from Russia, but he is of Tajik ancestry, like originally from Tajikistan. And his American family adopted him, but they're, speaking of Louisiana, they're from Louisiana, and they have like French ancestry, so they have like their last name like Bro, like written out like
Bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
like the French spelling. Yeah, it's very fascinating. Yeah.
I've got so used to that because when French people say my name, they say Raouf.
Raouf.
Raouf. They'll say Raouf. And I'm like, that just sound just stuck to me.
Yeah. Speaking of Josh, was he the one that helped you come up with Bestie Johns?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was because of him that I was able to come up with Bestie Johns. I don't really use Bestie Johns that often because I feel like
not anymore. You used to a lot.
I used to a lot, but I realized that it's kind of cringy. But like, if people want me to bring it,
now.
If people want me to bring it back, I'll bring it back though.
I think you should, because it's like that was like
it's like my brand.
Yeah.
A lot of people were getting confused though. You know, a lot of people were always
especially
like, what does Bestie John mean? You know,
or like what Barb said. I thought you had a bestie named John.
Yeah, that's freaking weird. Like I don't have a bestie named John, you guys. But yeah, I'll bring it back if I can. It's just like kind of hard to constantly explain it.
Yeah, that's true. Growing up, has your cultural background or looks affected you in any way? Whether it
Should
be
I answer in
negative?
Uzbek or English?
In Uzbek. Let's do it in Uzbek.
In Uzbek.
Yeah.
In a negative way.
Or positive doesn't
Okay.
matter.
I have something. Okay. In the Uzbek millatida albatta bizlarda naqa qosh bo'ladi, o'rtacha qosh bo'ladi. Siz yosh endi Humoyun akamni necha yildan beri bilamiz. Shu juda yaqin oilalarimiz. Ayam bilan bu kishini dadalari bitta televiziyada ishlagan bilan shu uchun yoshligimizdan bilamiz. Siz esingizdanmi mani qoshim bor edi? Yo unchalik ahamiyat bermaganingiz?
Unchalik balkim ahamiyat bermaganmanmi u paytida. Hozir endi o'ylayapman, now I'm recalling. Yeah, I think you kind of did that. Bordi sizda.
Endi Amerikada moda emasda shu.
Amerikada moda emas.
Albatta.
Sizdan kuladi.
Ha, yoshligimda faqat ustimdan kuladi shular. Hammasi ustimdan kuladi. Qachon sen qoshingni bunday olib taylaysan deb so'ragan necha marta. Endi yosh edim, kichkina edim baribirda. Endi 10-11 yoshimda keyin battar bo'lib ketaverdi-da shu. Keyin oxirida 16 yo 17 yoshimda o'zim shunday olib tayladim shuni.
Yo'q.
O'shandan beri men faqat olib taylayman shunimni. Endi bilaman shu islomga ham to'g'ri kelmaydi va
Actually o'rtasini olish mumkin deyilgan.
Mumkin, faqat ahini olmaslik kerak,
ha? Eyebrowga tegmaslik kerak.
Endi eyebrowga ham tegaman-da, shuning uchun O'zbekistonda bo'lsam, agar O'zbekistonda ko'proq yashasam, shunday o'sib chiqardi, mayli o'smalar qo'yib, lekin bu yerda moda emasda, shu Yevropetskiyda bu yer.
O'sha narsa affect qilganmi?
Albatta affect qilgan meni. O'shandan beri faqat aytardim, o'zbek bo'lmaganim yaxshi edi. Faqat shunday hairy, I'm so hairy all the time, you know. It's like just a typical Uzbek thing. It's a typical Uzbek woman thing, but also men too, you know. We're very hairy people.
I think it's the media, I cut you off. I think it's the media that does it. For example, hozirgi zamonda такой накачанный качок bo'lish kerakda, hech qanaqa hair bo'lmaslik kerak. Buni qanchasini qo'yaman bilmayman-ku, lekin demoqchiman, ayniqsa menda bo'lish kerak emasdek ko'rsatadi-da. I think it's whatever, you know.
It's BS.
Yeah, however God created you, that's the way, you know.
Yeah.
But qizlarga lekin sal nimaroq, qiyinroq.
Bizda ko'proq bor. Biz ayollarda, biz qizlarda juda ko'p. Shunga o'shandan beri men olib taylaganman. Hamisha shuni olib taylayman. Har shu oynaga qarasa, yana qilishim kerak-da shuni deyman. Every time. Yeah. You've never even seen it. Like, oh no, you have before.
You showed me images of it.
No. I grew it out in the summer once. I think it was like after we came back from Uzbekistan. It just grew out just a little bit. And I think I showed you.
You showed me that, but
I was like,
I also saw an image of you when it was like you were 17.
Yeah, I was very embarrassed of it. I was very ashamed of it. And it was probably because I was just growing up here, you know. Growing up here, it's completely different compared to growing up in Uzbekistan.
Kanadaga qaytib borganingizdan keyin nima ish qilasiz Kanadada?
Nima qilaman Kanadada?
Hozircha planlar?
I don't have a solid plan just yet. I may want to continue the YouTube channel that I just created. Malika's encouraging me to do that. But there is just a hope kind of it. Like when it comes to tech jobs nowadays. Canada's a little tough right now due to the economic situation, especially the States right now is also tough. But when it came, I heard good news coming in from the countries in the East Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, and all in Korea. When it came to cloud development.
You want to move there, or you want to?
I'm hoping more get a remote position.
Yeah.
Primary position, but I'm hoping like if worse comes to worse, if it doesn't work out, if they still give me the job and they say come in for a bit, I'm planning on taking Malika with me and be like, let's go, yalla.
Yalla habibi.
Yalla habibi gidili. Because I also want Malika to start like later on like her content to branch off more in the sense like how does Central Asia culture like impact everything else across Asia? Because there is a limit to like how much you talk about Central Asia for sure. Yeah. But she's a journalist after all, and I want her to expand her horizons. Like I don't want to be the person to like interfere with her like progress. I believe she has a lot more potential than she does has right now. She's just in the early stages of it.
I think agar ko'proq возможность bo'lganda sharoit bo'lsa agar o'sha Central Asian countries ga ko'proq vizit bo'lsa, nafaqat O'zbekiston, balki agar viza berib qolsa Tojikistonga ham yoki Turkmanistonga ham harakat qilsa agar ko'proq o'ylayman ko'proq ideyalar и kontentlar yaratishga возможность sharoit ko'proq bo'ladi deb o'ylayman.
Albatta. Keyin vaqt ham kerak shunga.
Vaqt ham kerak, конечно.
New York bu, Amerika bu, vaqt kerak, pul kerak shunga. Lekin juda yoqadi shunaqa narsalar menga. Men faqat millat illatni chiqarishni yaxshi ko'raman.
Keyingi davlat qayerda bo'lishini xohlaysizlar? Qayerga borishni xohlaysizlar? Men O'zbekistonga borib keldingizda birinchi marta. Yaxshi mana
Turkiya.
Bormadik bo'lsa yo bordik bo'lsa.
No,
bormoqchisiz.
Yo'q, bormoqchi. Eski paytında bordik mi? Yo'q.
Yo'q, bormoqchisiz.
Yeni yıl.
Okay. Lekin o'sha Turkiy davlatlar ichida.
Men o'zim Turkiyaga borib keldim, ya'ni.
Yo'q, endi mani olib borishingiz kerak. Turkiyaga borishimiz kerak endi.
Okay, menga bir Italiya diyecek.
No, within the Turkic realm.
Oh, within the Turkic realm? Ey, şu Qozog'iston deyman.
Qozog'iston, ya. Men ham borim keladi.
Turkmaniston. Turkmanistonga borish kerak.
Turkmanistonga ham. Aynan uni ko'rishga borgim keladi meni. Gaz chiqarib.
Biz o'tib ketdik shundan. Lekin polno bunday o'tib ketmadi-yu. Samarqand, Dubaydan Samarqandga ketayotgandik, o'sha samolyot bo'yicha. Keyin samolyotda shunday qarasak, bitta katta bunday narsa yonib turibdi-da. Bilmadim, siz ko'rganmisiz yo yo'qmi? Siz ham Samarqand shunday to'g'ri borgansiz. Katta bunday narsa uzoqdan turibdi. Shu darvoza yo dedi, bir-birimizga qarab shu dedi. I have a picture of it if you want to see. I'll show you in a bit.
Sure, yeah.
Ozarbayjonda yana bir darvozasi bor ha.
Ozarbayjonga ham borgim keladi.
Men ham borgim keladi Ozarbayjon. Bakuga borgim keladi ko'proq.
What do you want me to search up? Gas crater?
No, Yanardağ.
Yanardağ. Oh. They have one too. What the heck? Yeah. Nobody talks about it. Look.
Yanardağ.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
That's crazy. They literally have it, but nobody talks about it. They're always like Turkmenistan.
Lekin bu bunaqa bir Turkmanistondagidek takoy
dahshat emas bunchalik ham. Dahshat emas.
Просто tog' chekkasi yonib turibdi.
Yeah. Turlisi borda nima deydi?
Turlisi bor. What? Okay, so this is probably it. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For hosting.
For the second time.
Sizga rahmat.
Elingiz og'rimasa.
Nima dedingiz?
Qo'lingiz dard ko'rmasa.
Ha, rahmat.
Turkmanchasiga.
Elingiz og'rimasin.
Zo'r-ku. Telpay olib berishimiz kerak sizga.
Ha, telpay kerak. Tushunyapti menga. Boyagi Habibga o'xshab ketadi, sal.
Yo'q, lekin ular papaq deydi.
No, Gruziya
papaq deydi.
I sent that to Barb's before going to Turkmenistan. So
the one that he's wearing in the episode is Raouf's. It's so funny.
It was funny. That's how he got into contact with me. Yeah. But in the comment section, we're like, "That's a papaka. That's a papaka." And I'm like, "No, in my language, it's a tailpick. And that side is papaka." He says, "No, it's a papaka."
Xorazmliklar ham kiyadi o'shanaqa.
Tilpay deydi, tilpayni kiyadi. Ham turkmanlar ham kiyadi, tilpay deydi, ular ham tilpay deydi.
Bizlar ham tilpay deydi.
Biz ham tilpay deymiz.
Ama Gruziyalar papaka deydi.
Papaka.
Kabib'in o'zi papaga deydi, ammo bizda tilpak bo'lar.
Tilpak. Unga o'rgatishimiz kerak bizlar.
Yo'q, ularning materiali boshqacha, bizlarning materialimiz boshqacha. Material bir mi?
болса керек ау. Hammasi qo'ydi juni.
You're funnier in Uzbek.
Rahmat. Shu bilan tugatamiz epizod.